Well, gang, you might want to get your Zamzam water real quick. Get your holy water right now because the situation is kind of wild, okay? We're talking about Jesus returned. We're talking about Antichrist, Dajjal. Yo, whenever he comes, bruh, we gotta slap the herpes off his lips, okay? Like, straight up, okay? If you're new here, you do not have to subscribe. You do not have to like the video. I post random stuff. Shout out to the homie Blackwoods. Check this. Roll it. Major update on Pope's health amid fears of...
Pope Francis remains in critical condition at Rome's Gemelli Hospital. Vatican officials say he is still getting supplemental oxygen to help him breathe.
Oh crap, the rise of Antichrist? Yeah, get your Zamzam, get your holy water, guys. The Antichrist has arrived. Oh shit! Oh damn, cinematic, very cinematic there.
Something crazy is happening in Vatican right now. It seems like the Antichrist is now finally ready to reveal himself to the world. Now, as we know, Vatican has already confirmed that Pope Francis is currently in an extremely critical condition. And he has already been diagnosed with bronchitis. And currently, Pope Francis says that his end is finally here. And he also asked Vatican to prepare for his funeral because now Vatican is about to be choosing a brand new Pope. Now, if you guys know...
And there's that thing with the 110th or 12th, something like that, right? After that, it's gonna be, I mean, it's like a prediction, right? Or not sure if it's a prediction or a prophecy. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah, like after a certain point, the new one would be, I mean, they say it's gonna be the Antichrist though, so...
Anything about the book of Daniel's prophecies, then I'm sure that you're already terrified of what is currently happening, because everything that was said in the prophecy is now officially coming true. Because according to Daniel's prophecy and Revelations, it's already mentioned after the final Pope, which is supposed to be Pope Francis. According to the Saint Malachi's prophecies of the Pope, he already prophesied that the world will only have about 112 popes before the rise of Antichrist. And we have now officially reached the...
Yo! Yeah, that's the one I was talking about too, right? Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. Get your Zamzam water, get your holy water right now, man. Whenever the Antichrist comes, bro, we're gonna slap the herpes off his lips, bro. Like, we gotta prepare. We gotta slap the herpes off his lips. Simple as that. But you probably heard the saying, right? Born too late for the 90s, born too early to explore the stars. All I'm saying here is that, yes, born too late for the 90s, born too early to explore the stars, but born just in time for the end times, ladies and gentlemen.
112th position, and Pope Francis is supposed to be the last pope before the rise of Antichrist. And that's one of the things that the prophecies have already stated. After Pope Francis is supposedly said to be the Antichrist, the one guy, the son of Satan himself, who's going to be deceiving the entire world. And for those of you guys who don't know about Antichrist, well, the Revelation chapter in Bible, it already states that there will be a false prophet who will rise. And in the book of Revelation, he is described as a deceptive religious leader who will be serving the Antichrist. Now, what's interesting,
like with the one world government, one world religion, right? And yeah, that's the thing though. Both of these things were also mentioned in Project Blue Beam as well. You know, Project Blue Balls, which is something that people now call it, but that's something, I mean, so many conspiracies and all that, right? But of course, this one isn't a conspiracy. This is a religious, yeah.
thing is that in Revelation chapter 13, prophecy already describes that there will be a rise of...
Yeah, it's a religious prophecy, yeah, to put it the correct way.
A false prophet who in prophecy already describes that there will be a rise of a false prophet who in the final days will be serving the Antichrist, and he will be deceiving, and he'll basically just look like the Lamb of God, basically appearing all holy and stuff, but he's also going to be speaking like a dragon, deceptive and evil, and his role in this world is basically going to be to mislead people, performing miracles and push worship of Antichrist, and he also enforces the mark of the beast, leading many away from true faith. Now, some people have already been saying...
I remember that part, right? Like, yeah, so Mark of the Beast, that's something religious, but then we started hearing about the chips. The chips, not like the chips that you eat, like Doritos. Not talking about that, guys. Come on, man. Come back to planet Earth, okay? But the actual chips, like, I believe China, when we heard that China was putting chips into their citizens, and yeah, you can just scan your hand and all that. Yeah, a lot of people were like, yo, that gotta be, that's the mark of the beast. And then I remember people, and people are still calling President Trump, I'm not in America, by the way, but yeah, a lot of people say President Trump is the Antichrist. He's the Dajjal. He's the Dajjal. But here's the thing though. When Obama came, I mean, it happens all the time. It seems like that it happens all the time with U.S. presidents. Like, people were calling Biden the Antichrist. People were calling Obama the Antichrist. Now they're calling Trump. And before, when he was in office, when he had the 45th title, that's when people were calling him the Antichrist. Yeah, whoever becomes the next president is probably gonna be the Antichrist, is what people gonna say. But truthfully, yeah, like, nobody can predict the end times, though. Nobody can. I guess we have the signs, but nobody can predict when it's gonna be the actual end times, right? If you're, I guess, just gonna have faith. And if you're an atheist, I definitely want to know your perspective on this matter too, right? Because if you're an atheist, you definitely believe in something. Maybe not religiously, but you definitely believe in something. So, but yeah, nobody. And if you're religious, you know this, right? Nobody can predict the end. And if somebody say that we really are in the end times, just run. I guess you can metaphorically say we're in the end times because a lot of the religious signs are coming true, so you can say that we may be in that sort of like time frame. But how long is that gonna be, right? Like, how long is the time frame? Is it gonna be like 10 more years? Is it gonna be 100 more years? Is it gonna be 1,000 more years? Tens of thousands of more years? Yeah, that part, yeah, if somebody said that it's gonna happen in 10 years or 100 years from now, run. Run, because nobody can predict the actual end times though.
That this could be the current pope that we have, who is Pope Francis, because in the Revelation it mentions that this person is going to be compromising the church teachings, and this religious leader will also accept sins as normalization, and he will also be promoting a false one world religion. This is something that Pope Francis recently just did a couple months ago.
We need to remember that we are followers of Jesus Christ, and his life, humanly speaking, ended in failure. The failure of the cross.
Where he said that all religion leads to one God.
There's only one God, and each of us is a language, so to speak, in order to arrive at God.
Qualcuno è Sikh, qualcuno musulmano, qualcuno Hindi, qualcuno cristiano, ma sono diversi cammini.
Now, technically, a lot of religions do believe in one God, right? Except for Hinduism. Could be surely wrong, but from what I know is that they have like a lot of different gods, so people believe in, and yeah, that's their religion, respectfully, right? But generally speaking, a lot of religions do believe in one God. But of course, their definition of God and their God can be different, right? That's what it is. But generally speaking, yeah. But this one, this entire conspiracy, and I guess to a certain degree, religious prophecy is also about one world government, one world religion, and all that. It's about like bringing everybody together. But the way they want to do it is not the right way, right? For example, in the Project Bluebeam, if you've seen and if you heard about it, is that they're gonna use holograms to project like different gods. So for Muslims, it's gonna be Muhammad. Muhammad was not a god, he was a prophet, right? So they're gonna do that, and then they're also gonna project Jesus as well. And for different religions, they're gonna use their religions, their gods, and then bring people together. They want to have one world currency. And also Project Bluebeam talks about like the fake alien invasion too. So there's a whole lot of this and that, right? Whether you want to believe it or not, that's totally up to you. But some believe it, some don't believe it, but that's like the conspiracy. So it kind of ties in with that too. Yeah, it's not gonna work though. It's not. Yeah, people don't change religions like that. Or people, like, for example, an atheist will not become a believer just cause you want them to, right? You cannot, right? Unless they get hit with a trauma and then they feel that way, and you know, they want to convert or change or become a believer. That's when it happens. But other than that, bro, nobody is gonna change their religion because you say so, right? Or if the government says so, right? Exactly, right? So yeah,
there are different paths.
It's not gonna work.
Where he said that all religion is going to be leading to one God. Now, this is something that the book of Daniel and Revelation have already predicted, that there will be this religious leader, and this is already prophesied, and currently we have already experienced and seen all of these things happen during the reign of Pope Francis. And the prophecy also states that after this religious leader steps down, then after the 112th Pope, we will finally get to see the Antichrist rising to power, and he's going to be revealing himself. Now, obviously, Seriously, take a look at all the things that's happening around us in the world. Euphrates River is completely drying up, which is also something that was already prophesied in Ezekiel's revelation. And it's not just that. We also saw deserts becoming forest, and there's also blizzard snowstorm all over the Saudi Arabia in the middle of deserts, which is something that just seems so
it does look amazing though, but of course, like, it should not be happening. And also, like, I heard Miami also had that, but that was like a couple of months ago, so they would not necessarily, right? So it's crazy, and a lot of people do believe in the pole shifting as well, and this and that. A whole lot of crazy stuff going on. And if you guys did not see the last video, which I will surely link you in by the end, they're also saying they found alien life on a planet that's like 100+ light years away, but we're not sure if it's alien life, if the alien life is in humanoid biological creatures, or it's like, because they also mentioned marine life, which means like fish life and all that. So still baffling and still fascinating, but they say they are 99.7% sure that they have found the alien life, but they also mentioned that it could be false alarm. Now, whether you're either gonna believe it or you're not gonna believe it, some will say, like Project Blue Balls, Project Blue Beam, but it's crazy as to the stuff that is going on right now. I will link you that video, don't worry about it.
Impossible to happen. And we also saw rivers gushing out of deserts, which is also something the prophecy has stated. And the prophecy also says that water will be turning red blood color. And we are also seeing these things happen right now. And one of the most important things is that Israel has already announced that they are sacrificing the 5 red heifers, which is already revealed.
Now, this is something that we covered too, and this is a little older now. So those of you that are following, I haven't followed up, like, but those of you that are in the know and you're following, did they actually sacrifice the cows or not yet? Or they think they're gonna do it or not now?
To Ezekiel in Revelations, where he got to see that Israel was indeed sacrificing 5 red heifers, and there will be a massive all-out scale war throughout the entire world because of this stuff. And then they're going to be building the 3rd Solomon temple, and after that the Jews believe that their Messiah is going to show up. But then in reality, according to Ezekiel, the Messiah that people have been waiting for is going to be the second coming of Christ. Now, what's actually very important about the Pope Francis situation is the Vatican is already preparing for a funeral, and that's because Pope,
and that's the craziest thing, right? Like the Abraham religions, like Judaism, Islam, Christianity, all 3 believe, I'm not sure about the Judaism though, but I guess he mentioned that, so their Messiah, which will be Jesus. I'm not super caught up on like the Judaism, right? But yeah, Islam, Muslims do believe that Jesus is gonna come back, and of course Christians, of course, do believe it as well, that he's gonna come back. And if that's true, I guess, even Jews then believe it too, right? Shit, man. Yeah. Will that happen in our lifetime? That, I don't know about that one. I guess nobody can, that's the point though, nobody can predict it though.
Francis himself has declared that he has very less time left on earth, and he now wants to hand over the power of being a pope to another person. And we don't know who this new person is going to be. Now, of course, it seems like they're going to be selecting this new person, and the way that it's going to be happening is that the Roman Catholic community are going to be gathering together, and they are going to be selecting one person out of the Roman Catholic, and nobody knows who this person could be. A lot of people are going to be applying for the post, of course, but then there's going to be this one person that will get elected. And the way that they announce to the entire world is using this smoke, which is going to come out of the chimney. If you see a white smoke coming out of the chimney, this means that the new pope has been selected. Now, if there is black smoke coming out of the chimney, then this means that the decision is still pending, and they haven't yet found a good suitor for the position of pope. And a lot of people are saying that he's the one, man. He's the one before the Antichrist is going to be rising into power. And whoever it is that's going to come into power, most probably, it seems like we are currently entering the phase.
Damn, bro. Okay, you know what, guys? Like, I'm tired of people walking all over me, man. But scratch that part. I'm tired of the Antichrist trying to convince me otherwise. This is how I'm gonna fight back right now, okay? We all gotta, like, squad up, right, guys? We gotta gang up. We're gonna, we gotta slap the herpes off the jaw Antichrist lips, bro. We gotta put our Lego suit on. We gotta put our big boy pants on. We gotta put our... No more seatbelts, guys. No more seatbelts. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna put my kung fu black belt on, and we gotta do it.
phase called Tribulation phase, where the Antichrist is going to be ruling the world. He's going to get into power, and he's going to be controlling a lot of people and deceiving a lot of people into following a path that is completely against God. So this guy, Antichrist, is supposed to be one of the biggest deceivers in the entire history of humankind. He's always been in the hiding, and he's never shown himself to the world. And now for the very first time, as the prophecy states, after this one religious leader falls, and whoever this leader is going to be choosing after him is going to be the guy that is either Antichrist himself or the guy that is going to be heavily influenced and controlled by the Antichrist himself. And then during the Revelation days, for 7 years, we're going to go through an entire phase of Revelation, where on the 7th trumpet, obviously, we'll see the Messiah coming back, who Ezekiel prophesied as it is Jesus himself coming for the second time on a white horse. Mel Gibson actually speaks.
Yeah, okay, that's the thing, man. A lot of people also do believe that AI could be the Antichrist. I don't know how, or I can understand the sentiment, but literally speaking, like, I don't know how. Metaphorically speaking, I can understand, but literally, nah. Right? Because it gotta be like an like biological creature, right? Biological as in us, just like us Homo sapiens were biological, right? So it gotta be something like that, not AI per se, but it's fascinating stuff for sure. The dark side of the Catholic Church, okay?
Speaks about Pope Francis and some of the dark things that he actually got to know. And this is basically confirming that all the prophecies about him is indeed true. Now take a look at this stuff.
Can you define what that means?
Okay. There was an event that happened in the 60s. First, there was an event in the Vatican where they elected John the 23rd Pope, right, in 1958. I was 2 years old, right? He was elected, and it was a very funny thing that happened in the conclave. You know, usually there's white and black smoke that goes out of the chimneys to tell you, we have a pope, you know, habemus papam, you know.
That's true.
And the white smoke came out. And everybody cheered, and they went crazy. And then about a half an hour later, black smoke came out. That never in history has that happened.
How does that happen?
The white smoke came out, and then the black smoke.
So white smoke means
Yeah, we know who it is, and black smoke means the decision is still pending. So they chose it, but then wait, what? It's like
we found a new pope. Black smoke means no pope.
Look at
We
this.
got a pope that brought a South American idol into the church to worship.
Really?
He did. The Pachamama.
I don't know what that is.
It's a kind of like a South American god, Pachamama.
Why would he do that?
Good question, but he did.
Did he have an explanation for why he did it?
Yeah, it's kind of a weasel-worded thing of like, oh, all religions are just as good as one another. But, you know, if that's his...
That's what I was saying. That's what Pope Francis was doing, that he was basically bringing in some of the satanic worships into church, and he was saying all religions are the same. It all leads to the same God. You can worship whoever you want, and you're still going to heaven. And that's the kind of, you know, the false leadership that he was leading a lot of people into. And that basically makes a lot of people wonder if he's the one that the prophecies have been mentioning in Revelations and in Daniel's prophecies, and also in Saint Malachi's prophecies of Pope. It mentions the 112th Pope is going to be the final one, and after him is going to be Antichrist. And whoever the last Pope is, he's supposedly going to be controlled by the Antichrist, and he's going to be serving him, and he's going to deceive the Christian world. Now let's continue with what Mel Gibson has to say.
He shouldn't be the pope.
No. I mean,
how can you be the pope if you say all religions are just as good?
Exactly.
So he brought that in.
Yeah, into the Vatican. Then the hierarchy even worshipped it. They had a ceremony around it outside.
What?
So, well, that constitutes apostasy.
Yeah.
That's an apostasy, right?
Worshipping false gods.
Yeah. That's number one on the Mosaic hit list.
Yeah.
Moses goes up on the mountain, he comes back down, people are worshiping a golden
Thou
calf.
shalt have no other gods before me.
It's that.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. And the very nature of apostasy means that you have to be part of it to fall away from it. So it's an inside job.
That is indeed true. And also Mel Gibson here mentions that it's an inside job. And the reason why he says that is because the Antichrist is supposedly the person who's going to stay inside and is going to be controlling this religious person according to the prophecy. And he is going to make him deceive the world. And he's going to make people basically astray from God and follow a path that is very ungodly, and it's going to lead them to hell. Now, I was just watching this Indian news from First Post, who actually give us a very good explanation as to what's going on in Vatican right now. Just take a look at this stuff.
Pope Francis is currently hospitalized. He's suffering from double pneumonia. Since the hospitalization, his health has deteriorated drastically. Even the Pope thinks that he may not make it. So he's mulling
the
a
Pope
drastic
himself
move.
thinks that he's not going
A
to make it.
resignation. Although he won't be the first pontiff to do this, the first one to resign. But who will replace him? That is the big question. Meanwhile, the Vatican is already preparing for the worst case scenario. There are rehearsals underway for a papal funeral. Our next report brings you all the details.
Damn,
Look at
indeed.
that stuff. They're already rehearsing for
This is the world's smallest
That's
army,
crazy.
the Vatican Swiss Guards.
the funeral,
They
man.
have
That's
one sole
crazy.
mission: to protect the Pope. But this week, these guards are secretly rehearsing for something else, a funeral.
Secretly doing as well.
Pope Francis is in the hospital. The
Let me
pontiff
just-
is 88 years old. He was suffering from bronchitis. Since then, he's developed pneumonia.
Look at that stuff. Look at that stuff. They even wrote down the dates. What is that?
Shit.
February 20, 2025, 6 p.m. And yeah, they're
Okay, Holy Mass for the healing for the Holy Father, Pope Francis, February 20th, 6 p.m. So, okay, so that's the cathedral, parish. Okay.
basically electing a new pope. That's the news right here. And they're already preparing for his funeral before he's even dead, man. That's crazy stuff. We don't exactly know if this is some sort of an insider job that's going on.
Yeah, but yeah, this is that video that I was talking about. So official news, this is no longer rumors. Official news says that we are not alone. If you want to see what happened, click on this video on the screen, and we of course got like other stuff in it too, like the UFO stuff and all that. Click on this video on the screen and I'll see you right